Repeating outfits isn't the problem. Looking repetitive is. And I think this is where a lot of women get frustrated with their wardrobe because it starts to feel like they're wearing the same thing over and over again, even when they're not. So if you've ever stood in front of your closet thinking, why do all my outfits feel the same? This is usually why. Because the goal isn't to constantly buy more, it's to get more out of what you already have in a way that still feels elevated, styled, and intentional. And once you understand how to do that, your wardrobe starts to feel completely different. It feels easier, more cohesive, and honestly, a lot less frustrating to get dressed from. Let's slow this all way down for a second because this is the part that quietly affects everything. Your outfits don't feel repetitive because of your clothes. They feel repetitive because the structure of your outfits isn't changing. And I really want to sit with that for a second because most of us have never been taught to look at our outfits this way. So what usually happens is this. You open your closet, you see a variety of pieces, you genuinely have options. But when you start putting outfits together, you naturally gravitate toward what feels familiar. And familiar usually looks like this. The same type of top, the same type of bottom, finished with the same type of shoe. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because your brain is trying to be efficient. It's trying to simplify the process of getting dressed. So instead of exploring different combinations, you repeat what already feels safe, what already feels balanced, what you already know will work. But here's where the disconnect happens. Even if the pieces change, if the roles in the outfit don't change, your brain still reads it the exact same way. And this is the part that shifts everything. Every piece in your outfit plays a role. Some pieces create structure, some create softness, some define your shape, some relax the shape, some ground the outfit, and some elevate it. And if you're consistently choosing pieces that play the same roles, you're not creating new outfits. You're recreating the same visual pattern. And that's why you can spend time getting dressed, trying to find different combinations, switching things out, and still feel like nothing is really working. It doesn't feel fresh. It doesn't feel styled. It doesn't feel like you showed up differently. It just feels familiar. And your brain is really good at recognizing patterns. So even when something is technically new, if it still feels like something you've worn before, it gets categorized the same way. And that's the moment your wardrobe starts to feel repetitive, even when it isn't. Because repetition isn't about the clothes. It's about the pattern of how you wear them. And when that pattern doesn't change, nothing else feels like it changes either. So this is where we gently shift out of that cycle. And I want this to feel empowering, not restrictive. Instead of thinking in terms of full outfits, start thinking in terms of formulas. And I know that can sound structured, but this actually gives you more freedom, not less. A formula is simply the relationship between your pieces. It's the structure underneath what you're wearing. It's what your eye is responding to, even if you're not consciously aware of it. So instead of thinking, I've already worn this, start thinking, what role is this piece playing today? Is it adding structure? Is it adding softness? Is it defining my shape? Is it relaxing the shape? And once you start asking those questions, you stop repeating outfits by default and you start building them intentionally. Because without this awareness, most outfits are created reactively. You reach for what's easy, what feels comfortable, what you know will work without effort. And that's how repetition happens. But when you think in formulas, you slow that process down just enough to make a different choice. So instead of always defaulting to the same combination, you start exploring what happens if I change the balance? What happens if I shift the structure? What happens if I move the visual weight in this outfit? And this is where your wardrobe starts to open up because now you're not relying on newness to create interest. You're using variation to create interest. And variation always feels more intentional than newness because it shows thought, it shows awareness. It shows that you're actually styling your outfit, not just putting it on. Let's go deeper into visual weight because this is one of the most powerful tools you have. Visual weight is how much presence something has in an outfit, how much it pulls the eye. Structure creates weight. Thickness creates weight. Sharpness creates weight. Definition creates weight. Whereas softness, drape, and fluidity, those reduce visual weight. And this isn't about one being better than the other. You need both because contrast is what creates interest. When everything in your outfit sits at the same weight level, your eye doesn't have anywhere to go. That's when an outfit feels flat or unfinished, or like something is just slightly off. So instead of changing everything, you introduce contrast. If your outfit is very soft overall, add one structured element. If everything is structured, soften one piece. Even something small like changing your shoe can rebalance the entire outfit. You're not adding more, you're redistributing presence. And if this is the kind of styling that helps you see your wardrobe differently, make sure you're subscribed, because this is exactly what I focus on here. How to actually use your clothes in a way that feels elevated, intentional, and effortless. Now let's go deeper into proportion, because this is where outfits start to look intentional instead of accidental. Proportion is how your outfit is visually divided. It's the map of where everything sits on your body, and your eye reads that map instantly before it even registers the clothes themselves. So when something feels off, it's often not the pieces, it's where they're sitting. A longer top can shorten your leg line. A crop piece can lift the entire outfit. An open layer can elongate your frame. A closed layer can create structure, and none of these are right or wrong. They just create different effects. But when you start adjusting them intentionally, that's when your outfits start to feel styled. You're not changing the outfit, you're changing the shape of it. Even something small like tucking your top, rolling a sleeve, or adjusting where the layer hits can completely shift the balance. Move the line and you change the look. And this is where the outfit really comes to life. Your finishing elements are what tell the story. They guide how the outfit is interpreted, whether it feels relaxed, polished, or effortless. So even when your base stays the same, your outfit doesn't. A structured shoe sharpens everything. A softer shoe relaxes everything. A defined bag adds polish. A relaxed bag softens the look. A blazer adds intention. A cardigan adds ease. And once you start rotating these elements, you're not changing the outfit. You're changing the impression of the outfit. And that's what keeps it from feeling repetitive. Let's really walk through this slowly, because this is where everything connects. Take something like a tailored trouser. This is one of the most versatile pieces you can have. First look. You pair it with a fitted knit and a pump. The shape is defined. The lines are clean. The shoe refines everything. It feels polished, intentional, pulled together. Second look. You take that same trouser and switch to a softer top, something a little more relaxed, and add a sandal. Now the structure moves into the background. The outfit feels lighter, more effortless, more relaxed, but still cohesive. Third look, you layer a blazer over it. Now you've added structure back in. You've created contrast again. You've added dimension, and the outfit feels elevated in a completely different way. Same trouser, same foundation, completely different results. And this is what most wardrobes are missing. Not more pieces, but more range within the pieces. This is where everything starts to shift for you, because now you're not standing in your closet trying to figure things out. You already understand how your pieces work together. You know how to adjust. You know how to shift. You know how to create variation without starting over. And that makes getting dressed feel easier, less frustrating, less overwhelming. You're not chasing new outfits anymore. You're creating them. And that's what makes a wardrobe feel elevated, not bigger. So if your outfits have been feeling repetitive lately, it's probably not your wardrobe. It's just the way you've been styling it. Start adjusting the structure. Shift the proportions, rotate your finishing pieces, and you'll start to see how much range you actually have. And if you want pieces that are designed to mix, match, and repeat effortlessly, I've linked everything I recommended over on my LTK. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.